Hello?
Yeah, hi, Carmen.
Who?
Carmen?
Is it? No, no.
Okay, sorry about that. I called back in and I went ahead and actually manually muted the lines for anyone that's calling into the phone line. I just asked that you just make sure that you keep your line muted during the duration of the presentation. So my definite apologies for that occurring. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna begin back at where I had originally started with providing the definition for motivation, just in case anyone was not able to hear that. And what I'll also do is I'll monitor here to make sure that if anyone does become unmuted, that I'll go ahead and mute their line back again. Okay. Okay, so back to what I was saying. So in regards to motivation for a definition, the general definition would be the reason behind people's actions, willingness, and goals. Okay, so we take a spin on that and actually apply it towards employee motivation. It's the ability to generate or drive that desire to act towards a goal. So what that basically means, like I said before, is basically, what's pushing someone to make a decision to pursue a goal, what pushes someone to do an action that they want to do. Of course, we all do this, so it's all human behavior. So with motivation, it is a process that energizes, directs, and sustains human behavior. So before we get started in terms of discussing the various theories that I have to discuss with you all today, I kind of want to discuss real briefly, just in general, the two different kinds of motivation. And they are intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. So first, for intrinsic, it is the behavior that is driven by internal rewards or an internal desire to do something for oneself. So intrinsic, as an example, could be a personal goal that an employee has to better themselves for that activity. So that could be, pursuing a certification to fulfill a goal that they have to maybe pursue something in their career path. That's a, clear example as to what intrinsic means. So that means in means internal. For extrinsic, however, that means that is behavior that is motivated by an external factor that pushes someone to do something in hopes of earning a reward. So you can kind of put extrinsic as external. So that could be, as an example, we're all motivated by money, of course. So that could be for your employees a particular increase in pay, a potential promotion. And it can also be on the flip side that they're actually staying out of trouble with you as their manager, that they're not going to be receiving any type of negative performance reviews or negative communication in regards to whatever part of their position they're completing. So for motivating employees, so why are we talking about this today? So I know we've been kind of centralizing the past few months in regards to really getting aspect on our survey and also for employee engagement, things of that nature. So I thought it'd be really nice and really cool that we actually really focus on what makes people do what they do every day, okay? So for you as a manager to be effective, you have to understand that your ability to motivate your employees is driven by having specific goals for them each and every day, okay? So employees want to make sure that they feel energized and excited about performing their tasks on a daily basis. Now, sometimes these tasks are something that we do every single day that can be mundane or repetitive, but we want to make sure as a manager that you're allowing your employees to feel that the position and the task that they're performing is very important to the business's success, okay? Now, for managers listed here, it's very important for you all to understand how you're able to influence your people to do this. So you're influencing them to make sure that they feel that they're a key contributor to your team, that they're performing at a very high level for you and for the company as well. Now, of course, with an effective motivational scheme in place, managers like yourselves are able to, of course, most importantly, retain our talented workers that we work with every day at Westcor, but we're also able to make sure that those employees are able to be more productive in their role. Okay, so for the next few slides, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to discuss 3 different theories of motivation. I'm sure if you've taken any kind of psychology classes, coursework back in school, or read any kind of books in regards to this, I'm sure these 3 probably seem a little familiar. And if not, I hope that I'm able to give a great description as to how this works. After I discuss these theories of motivation, what we're going to do is we're going to actually apply these theories of motivation as to how you can utilize them towards your employees in the workplace. Okay, so for the first theory we have here is the Maslow hierarchy of needs. It was created by Abraham Maslow back in 1943. And the basis for the theory is that it explains that everyone is motivated to satisfy 5 basic needs. And these needs are arranged in a hierarchy as shown here. So we're going to discuss basically the 5 actual basic needs that a person needs to motivate themselves in their position as an employee. Okay, so first we have to satisfy our lower needs first. And once we satisfy that, we actually move up to the next level until we meet all 5 needs. So first, at the bottom here, you see it is physiological needs. So that is our most basic need. And basically the physiological need means basically the need for survival, okay? Employees are concerned, basically with this, is that they're concerned about their salary and stable employment. They want to make sure that they can afford their lifestyle, including having a stable home environment with shelter and food. So I know back, when we were back in school, definitely even in elementary, we always had that understanding that the most basic needs that we need as people are food, shelter, and water. So it's kind of basis of what this means, that your employees want to make sure that the position they're being hired for, that they're working in, that they're able to have a good salary that they can actually keep, and also have to be able to sustain their home environment as well for themselves, and also for their families. The second level is safety and security. Now, for this, employees want to have a stable work environment. So that's going to mean in terms of the company. They want to make sure that they're offered good health benefits. So employee benefits is essential. So that would be, of course, health benefits. They also want to make sure that they have, in terms of safety and security, that work safety is of utmost importance to the company that they're working with, and that we have policies created for this. So kind of examples of that would be our workers' compensation policies, our disability policies, our FMLA. So some of these things can be really action-driven from here in HR as to what they need. For our third level here, it is belongingness. So love and belonging. So for employees, they require the need for having cooperative teammates, camaraderie. They will make sure that they're working with a good manager with you. They want to feel that there's togetherness in their teams. Okay, so at this point, the team becomes the focus for an employee, and they're concerned that they're working for an inclusive company. They're working for a very inclusive team, that they're able to work together. For the fourth level is self-esteem. So for this, as people, we want to be recognized for our achievements and the value that we bring to our role every day. So we want to be respected by you, our manager, and also by our teammates as well. Other things that are very important for this would include their job titles, any perks they're starting to receive, and also any earned rewards that they are getting from you. The final level, which is actually the highest level for an employee to reach, is self-actualization. So with self-actualization, it means that they're concerned about their achievements. They want to make sure that they're an expert in the position or the role that they're performing in. They want to start doing more challenging work. They want to grow and develop in the company. So last month we had a training in regards to training development. So at this point is where you're able to work with your employees to see exactly where they want to go forward in their short-term and their long-term goals. Okay, so for the next theory that we're going to be discussing is going to be the self-determination theory. This theory was created by psychologists Richard Ryan and Edward Deci. Now, for this theory, it was created to give awareness in regards to intrinsic motivation, which we just discussed a few moments ago, and that we must satisfy our basic needs through autonomy, relatedness, and competence. So we're going to discuss these three basic needs. And you're going to kind of see how they're kind of similar to the hierarchy as well. So they're kind of a little bit related. So first, for relatedness, it is the feeling of being cared for and being connected to others. So camaraderie and teamwork. Employees want to feel that they matter to you and to their teammates. They also want to feel included and have that sense of camaraderie. An example of this would be a simple thank you for you doing a team building activity, either on-site or off-site. Could be ranging from just doing a simple lunch to doing something fun off-site, like an activity together, like one of the escape rooms that is really popular in our area, or also just having a potluck. For competence, that it's actually essential to wellness and our overall well-being. So it's a feeling that you're a master at all of the things that are important to you. So you're a subject matter expert, right? So for example, this could be employees that are expert for the tasks that they complete in their positions. So with this, the work environment plays a very huge impact on this need. The work environment means their team, it means the company, and also means stability. They want to make sure they're working for a company that is stable. They also want to make sure that they have a sense of confidence when they're making contributions through their work. So with competence, you can also use it where you're able to ask for suggestions regarding to certain tasks, and they can feel that they're actually giving something back to the team and to you as well. Our final basic need for self-determination theory is autonomy. Now, this is the freedom of choice over their actions. So they're able to choose what they want to do. So this need provides a sense of empowerment where they feel that they are involved in their growth. So an example of this would be for an employee to choose the type of training they have interest in and be able to attend it so they can exhibit growth. So they feel that they're growing in their role or growing in their career path as well. But with this, you also want to make sure that they feel encouraged that they are making the choice themselves to pursue something further, but you also have on the back end as you as their manager that you're encouraging them as well. Our final theory that we're going to discuss is reinforcement theory. So definitely don't let the diagram intimidate you. This is a really great theory that was actually created by B.F. Skinner. It's also known as operant conditioning as well. So with this theory, it's based upon the idea that a behavior is followed by a response, which will either strengthen or change the behavior in the future by using these four words here. So by using reinforcement, either positive or negative, punishment, and also extinction, okay? So for my focus here, I'm gonna really focus a lot on positive and negative reinforcement. I will provide it in terms of definition what the other two are, but I think that for the purpose of this call, that positive and negative reinforcement is definitely something you wanna apply to your employees. So first, for positive reinforcement, it gives an employee, when an employee provides positive behavior, they should receive a positive response. Pretty simple. So with positive reinforcement, a person is rewarded for doing something of their interest or for their desire. So for example, for us, if an agency representative performs well by increasing sales, that representative may receive a pay increase, which in essence reinforces them the desire to make more sales. So it's more like they're rewarding that effort. Now for negative reinforcement, this takes place when certain deterrents are removed and the employee responds with a desired behavior. So kind of for example with this one, an employee's manager who consistently sends follow-up emails regarding a project they're working on. The employee responds by indicating that the project is complete and submitted prior to the deadline date. So the result is that the manager no longer sends follow-up emails each time the employee is assigned projects. So it basically instills that the manager understands and knows that that employee is on top of things, and it shows them that they have respect for that as well. For these other two, including punishment and extinction, I'll go ahead and give a brief definition for both. So punishment refers to being provided a negative response which will prevent an employee from repeating the undesirable behavior. So an example with this would be, unfortunately, a behavior that could result in termination. So that could range from, let's say, from sexual harassment, that there's a claim that's brought up, and if that case has been reviewed and acknowledged that it was that it could lead up to termination for that employee. And finally, for extension, what that basically means is that is to remove a learned behavior by withholding a positive reinforcement or reward that was being used to encourage that behavior. So if we apply both positive and negative reinforcement into how this kind of flows with this actual diagram here, we can apply that to the understanding that every behavior has a consequence. So behavior that results in being provided a positive reinforcement is more likely to be repeated. This is going to allow the employee to be more motivated to repeat that behavior. And if a behavior results in a negative consequence, then the employee is less likely to repeat that behavior. So we'll suggest an employee is going to engage in a different behavior in the future. Okay, so we went ahead and discussed our 3 theories of motivation today. So what we're going to now do is going to apply these actual theories. We're going to apply some techniques as to what you can use with your employees, okay? So first, we're going to start with the hierarchy of needs again, with Maslow's hierarchy of needs as a reminder. So what you want to do first as a manager is you want to assess your departments. So in essence, you want to survey your employees. You want to ask for their input. You want to have an open discussion during your meetings or even a huddle just to see exactly what motivates them, what keeps them engaged on your team. You also want to make sure you're learning about each of your employees. And I have here that you want to make sure that you're listening, observing, and asking. So the 2 here, ask and listen, they're very important when it comes to having open communication with your employees. But you also want to make sure that you are observing them. You are watching to see if their behavior changes on a weekly basis, or something might be happening at home. You want to make sure that you're getting involved with them. You also want to identify each of your employees' most pressing need based upon the hierarchy that we discussed. So you're secure, if they're secure, their belongingness, their self-esteem, and their self-actualization. And last, we want to make sure that you are matching the rewards that they're earning and their communication style with each employee's most pressing needs. So you want to make sure that when you're assessing them, that you're able to apply the communication type and also reward based upon that level of regarding the hierarchy of needs. For our second theory, the self-determination theory, some techniques for this one is you can actually, as a manager, allow your employees to start taking an active role in their development. This is very important. So you can sit down and start making some goals with them, both short-term and long-term. Ask them what they want in terms of certifications, going back to school, things of that nature. So you're allowing them to first take their first step towards accomplishing a goal. You also make sure you are providing meaningful feedback, that you're providing support and encouragement, and also, very importantly here for the last one, that you want to offer employee responsibilities. So you also want to start delegating some tasks that you feel that employee can take on. So giving them challenging work. You want to make sure that you are being careful. So you want to make sure you are balanced in providing them extrinsic rewards. So, in terms of giving them lunches or giving them pay increase and things of that nature, that you are giving them a balance and that you're doing it based upon their performance and also their personality. And for our final actual theory here, for reinforcement theory, for some techniques that we have, what I have done is I actually have broken it down based upon, again, positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement for these couple of slides here. So first, let's start with positive reinforcement, because that's the best one, right? We all want to be positively influenced. So we make sure that you are being specific in the actual type of information you're providing to your employee and the feedback that you're providing to them. You want to make sure that with the reinforcement that you're personalizing based upon that employee and who they are. So make sure you're doing it often and also unpredictable. Don't be on a schedule. A simple, just an email saying, I appreciate what you've done for the team today, goes a long way with your employees. But make sure that you are being sincere in providing praise to them and showing a genuine appreciation for their achievement, whether it is their task that they're doing on a daily basis or if they have achieved an actual goal that's outside of working at Westcor as well. So for positive reinforcement, the basis of it is that it produces morale, so produce morale in your team, within your employees. It also reduces turnover, which is really important to us, right? And it also improves productivity. So in essence, that helps us retain talent and also grow our company as well here at Westcor. For negative reinforcement, we don't like doing this, but we kind of have to make sure that our employees are actually goal driven, that you are actually have an employee grow with us. You want to make sure you're understanding your employees know how to respond with negative reinforcement so that they understand that the feedback you're giving to me, though it is negative, it is in essence for them to grow in their field. So you want to make sure you're setting clear expectations with goals for your employees. If employees are not performing to those expectations, then you want to make sure that you are having a discussion with them. And this discussion needs to be done verbally and written, okay? You want to make sure that you're utilizing performance improvement plans to make sure that that employee stays on track. So with the improvement performance plans, these are great to use because you're able to give them a timeline as to when you want them to have certain tasks being completed or better performance on certain tasks. So it helps them also understand exactly how long they have to do it and what needs need to be met as well. So at the beginning of the call, I did discuss and mention also that we will be providing you an actual document. So that document is actually going to be the performance improvement plan. So I will be sending that to you shortly. So I hope that you're going to be able to start using it if you're not already, to be able to make sure that your employees are on track regarding to different goals that you have in mind if their performance is lacking at this point in time. Now, another way of applying negative reinforcement would be to demonstrate it to them. So you want to withhold promotions or raises, and then of course you want to set goals and let them know that these goals have not been fulfilled at this point in time. And that's also why it's very important, yet again, to make sure you're having follow-up discussions with those employees and also documenting every discussion that you have. So if they do ask you a question as to why, unfortunately, they're not getting a promotion or raise, you do have the backup to provide to them. Okay, so we went ahead and defined what motivation is. We've discussed now theories of motivation. We've now applied those theories towards some tools that you can take to apply towards your employees. So let's just talk about overall themes as to the reason why motivation is important to all of us, honestly, and to you, especially as a manager. So managers, you must understand what motivates each employee in your department. So yes, some are definitely motivated by money and benefits, some are motivated by praise and appreciation, and others are motivated by work-life balance, that they're able to work a good job and they're able to go home at a good time to be with their family. So as a manager, what you need to do is make sure that you're assessing each of your employees under your team, their work responsibilities, and their underlying motivations, whether it's money, benefits, praise, etc. What you can do is you can actually create an employee analysis, which will require you that you actually sit down and you meet with them individually just to discuss all those work-related goals that they have. And of course, most definitely, employees feel that if you're investing your time in them and you are growing them, they're going to appreciate you because you have, at that point, a very sincere interest in their life. So next, we're going to talk about briefly here is how can you find an employee's passion to drive them to do something. So you want to make sure that you are inspiring your employees as much as you can about the work they're performing. So once you're able to discover with them and have that communication with them as to what they're passionate about within their role or passionate about in their life, you're going to be able to provide them various projects in that area of passion or interest. And that's going to provide them in addition to their regular assigned duties. So what you also want to do if you're also driving into your employees' passion is you want to check with them regularly to see if they have developed new passions and be able to give them different ways that they can utilize them towards any of their short-term and long-term career goals. So with this, yet again, it's very important that you are having that communication with your employees on a very regular basis. And finally, what is Westcor's philosophy on motivation? So first, Tim, motivation helps us, and I mean us, including our entire company, both you as the manager and our employees that we have here, reflect on our dedication to our Westcor family. So here at Westcor, as you know, as a manager, we are a family. We're willing to, invest our time into each other and be able to grow together as a company. Now, you as a manager, you're going to provide motivation. It helps employees feel that they're an integral part of our company, that what they do matters every single day, and that is to the bigger picture of the company. It also creates an environment based upon our respect and admiration for all employees, and that includes you as well. So we have an environment that's based upon respect and love and admiring each other for the work that we do and the contributions that we make to our company each day. And last year, motivation helps us to create an environment that's based on enthusiasm, productivity, and value. So essentially, we want to be enthusiastic about the company that we represent on a daily basis. We're going to increase our productivity, which means we're going to get more business, and then we're also going to show value within our company, with our employees, within yourselves and a manager, but also to our customers as well. Okay, so that's the end of my presentation. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I will go ahead and unmute the lines for the individuals that call in through the phone here. If you have any questions or comments, suggestions that you would like to provide in the call, go ahead and do that. And then also I'm going to check the chat here to see if there's any questions as well that may be out here for me. Just give me one moment.